Hey everyone, welcome to my Soul Finding channel. My name is Tanya Morelli. I am an energy healer, an intuitive, and a teacher. And I am super, super excited about this particular topic, which is signs from Spirit in the Ordinary. When I started really getting into the idea of uh, finding my own intuition versus hearing it from maybe a priest at Mass or um, in happenstance around me, sort of as coincidence, I started to really enjoy being able to draw out from the universal forces, from the divine, um, Holy Mother, Father, God, Spirit, guides, angels, all of our team that is working around us. I really loved seeing what the feedback was because I realized I'm someone who can draw that into myself. I'm someone that is it has that connection, has that input switch that I can go right to. And so I started noticing things when things were difficult, when certain challenges were happening in my life. I started to see certain synchronicities around the symbols and the signs that would show up in my life. So perhaps you've noticed the same thing. And for example, do you find coins when you think of loved ones who maybe have passed? Or if you're really kind of seeking more abundance into your life, that's interesting. Coins have a way of obviously giving you a real um, physical connection to abundance and to pennies from heaven, as the expression goes. Feathers, birds. Birds are obviously something that we hear a lot about. Cardinals being signs from our loved ones on the other side. But so many different birds have so many great messages, and I can tell you that I have a very loving relationship with all the different types out there, and so that is something that's dear to my heart. Numbers, when you start to see numbers around you in synchronistic kinds of ways where you just kind of keep noticing 111, 222, or certain numbers that are specifically important to you. Obviously, dreams, when we have our dreams and we get a message, a download from our state of relaxing into rest and allowing our higher self to connect to the spiritual realm. Dreams, visitations, those are amazing, and I love those as well. Rainbows, celestial events. Rainbows are great because they come at specific times. Right after a big storm, you get that beautiful rainbow, and they remind us of that at times it's difficult in life, and there is a beautiful outcome there on the other side of it. Um, Sensations, feeling in your body, like feeling tingles or feeling like physically feeling something that shouldn't be there. Meaning, I can give you one great example right now. My beautiful Ellie, my soul dog, passed in the last 6 months, and that was really, really, really difficult. Still is at times, quite unbearable when it happened, and the weeks after. Um, but I literally felt her tail where I would sit normally, and I felt her tail move past my leg one night. And I talked to my husband about it after. I told him, I said, I felt Ellie. And he says, I did too. That was a sign from Ellie. And she gives me a bunch of signs as well. I hope you can relate because these are things that are real. They are there to give us a little pat on the back, a little wind at our back, giving us a chance to know that we are so lovingly supported, so important in the scheme of things, that our path and our life and all the things that feel insignificant at times when you're just kind of moving along and you don't know why things are just not moving. You're significant, worthy of that attention and being given a concrete way of being able to connect the dots back to yourself. And so let's talk more about that. Um, when you do start to notice, when you start to ask the questions, I am someone that, as a teacher and a voracious student, having been my whole life someone that wanted to find answers to why things are happening in my life, as well as in terms of divine understanding and what are we doing here? Where are we on this planet? Why? All the things that um, become existential questions. It can become something that is hard to understand, frankly, when you feel like you're doing all the right things or you're doing your best to be a conscious person, someone who is living in the right way, or trying to be kind or trying to do your best, which we all are. We all are trying to do our best. We always are. And so in those times, I started really asking questions, as I'm sure you are as well, if you're here on a channel like this or one like mine. When I would ask those questions, or when I would say, show me something, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm making everything work within my own power and within my own capabilities and creative understanding of how to do things, give me something so that I know I'm on my path. And I can give you so many different examples. I want you to start considering those for yourself and get really start writing them down. Get really hold yourself accountable, I would say, to them so that you don't forget that you are always being given something when you just might not believe that you have that support around you. For me, I feel like that's what these symbols are there to give us: optimism. They're there to show us how deeply loved we are by the universe, by our beautiful source, our God of Mother, Father, God energy, that which holds us and loves us and is rooting for us and cheering us on here, all our guides and angels. So that I always pay attention to my birds. And let me tell you, they have come in many different forms. And so what I do is I will look them up. I will look at this bird. You can do a quick Google search. Now we have so much information at our fingertips. I would just look it up and just say, oh, well, this showed up. Raven. I can see I have ravens in my life now, which are magical and amazing. So many different types of birds. Woodpeckers, really cool ones in my backyard. Things that hummingbirds. We do not have anything that would, in my opinion, draw hummingbirds, but they have shown up. Butterflies, dragonflies. Oh, I love to look around. Lightning bugs, even, because those are. It seems like they're few and far between where I live now, compared to when my kids were little. But yeah, so these are beautiful signs that they are there to remind us that, yeah, I hear you. Spirit is saying to us, our inner being is saying, our angels, and look alive, because you have something to pay attention to. Now you know that you are not a victim of things. It's very easy to fall into victim mentality when things aren't going well, or, and there are a lot of challenges. Again, there are a lot of things the world around us is kind of spinning in a very different way than even a few years ago. Things that we're acclimating to in our bodies. Our bodies have gone through a lot. When we think about what happened back in 2020 and those years going forward, we're all living that. We're all feeling that, and how that has affected us or the people around us. And things can get fearful at times. And it's really our responsibility to ourselves and to others around to look at all the ways that we create in life that can change the trajectory, that can change the direction, not believing that we are doomed to deal with things that come at us, that we may even not have a responsibility to it, other than it just sort of is part of the path. And we need to be responsible to how we respond to it and how we can change the path and make it one that we all benefit from, ourselves first and then others as well. So I do have a reading that I'm going to give you guys at the end. So that kind of speaks to that, because I was really interested in what would be a message for you guys. I always do that when I start this. I want to know, where are we headed? What is going on in the collective? The people that are watching this, the people who are maybe not even watching this, but are kind of in this place, because we are also deeply connected to each other. We are inseparable, really, from an energetic perspective. This is true. So as I was reflecting on this topic on my walk with my other dog, Rosie, she loves her walks, and so do I, because I find that nature, when I do take those walks with her, is always buzzing around me, giving me messages. I feel the downloads, I feel the connection to the earth, as I've talked about in other videos. So sometimes if we don't get the mail the night before, I check the mail and to make sure that we got it. And in my mailbox was a few things. It was in this cute little bag, and there are all these little messages, and there's nothing that they're trying to sell to me. I thought maybe this was some sort of sales pitch, but it literally, there was a message here that said, nothing can separate us from the love of God. Little card. This is a magnet. It says, we are God's masterpiece. This is a little keychain. It says, pray about everything, worry about nothing. And that is very close to my heart. As a mom, I worry all the time. And I've always told my family, and my husband loves when I say this, I'll say, worry is the opposite of prayer. Prayer is where it's at, because I do believe that, but it's so hard for my mental mind to get out of the way of worry. So that was perfect messaging for me. There was a little one of these bands. It says, I am with you always. It's a Bible verse, which is amazing. And then this is the funniest of all. This is a little chapstick. My husband and I, before going to bed, he realized, he's like, oh, I don't have chapstick up here. I'd left it somewhere else. So I said, oh, let me see if I can find one. Don't really have a lot of them around. This was in my mailbox today. And on it, it says, with God, all things are possible. I love that. I felt like that was literally all my guides, my angels, my support, my non-spiritual support system, who loves me and loves you and loves all of us, put that in there, because somehow directed someone to get that in there. Thank you, whoever you are. I thought that was really beautiful. Reminded me of just how loved we are. I have a couple other little stories, because I think stories are ways to kind of ground in messaging. I remember one day, just this is another example of how people, words, songs, messages from people really can be quite literally your angels speaking through them, or an angel themselves. My teacher Sonia told us back when many times during my trainings with her that you meet your guardian angel in physical form about 3 times a week. And I thought that is so fascinating, because there are times where you just go through life and you're like, I was at the bus stop. That didn't feel like an angel encounter. I was, online at the DMV or the post office. Didn't feel quite like that. And I was in one of those funks. I was not really feeling all that. I felt like it was just hard. And I remember going to the store. I was online. I was about to pay for my things. I remember getting out the door was hard. The garage door wouldn't shut. I was like, here we go again. This is just one of those. I got there, and there was this gentleman in front of me, and he felt different. He had just a beautiful aura, beautiful energy around him, in him, coming through, emanating from him. And he turned to me because they opened up another cashier line. No big deal, right? But we moved over, he and I, and he turned to me, said, he said, this is an omen for a good day. And I looked at him, and I looked at what he was wearing. He had a jacket on that had a cardinal on it. And that was something that I just right away, I thought, this is so cool, very interesting. And I paid for my things real quick. I went out, no sign of this guy. And that was quick, right after him. Didn't have much going on there. And I thought, maybe I just met myself an angel. I think I did. It was something. It was something. And I have not forgotten it. And I do trust that was who that was. And that has been something that has stuck with me, like I said. So think for those things within yourself, that start paying attention to them, because once you do, you can't ignore it anymore. And it will be something in your pocket, a tool in your pocket that will remind you of how important you are on a normal day, an ordinary day. You are important. I've had the times where I've also complained. I'm a complainer at times. Went to my pity party, and I was just angry. I felt like things were not going. I was trying so hard. I was doing all the right things. I felt stopped at every place I could move forward. And I remember just having one of these arguments with the divine. And I was basically like, F you. Yeah, I did that. I was like, I don't know why I bother. I am tired of this. You're not showing me anything. I'm doing all the right things, and you're not even giving me a sign. So I got it all out. That felt good. And then I started to purge. I just went around. I cleaned. I got rid of stuff that I didn't need. Was cleaning up the kids' rooms. They were little. I did all this and went on. And I remember just forgetting about it, forgetting about my argument, feeling pretty good that I'd gotten that out. My ruthless purge, which I recommend. And I went to soccer practice with my son. He was playing soccer, and it was after dinner, and the weather was, it was fine. No rain, although sometimes they make you practice in the rain. And I was sitting in the soccer field, they were playing, and rainbow, huge, huge monster rainbow shows up. And the kids are like, look at the rainbow. And it was like a beautiful one. It was like a full arc. And I just, all of a sudden, I remembered, I was like, wait a minute. Thank you. Thank you. You gave me my sign. You're not mad at me for being angry. And remember, I did say in my last video, anger needs to be worked itself through, needs to come out, needs to be integrated into the earth, out through you and done. And I just felt so much peace from that. I felt very loved. I felt very held by God. I felt very supported. And I realized, I'm like, this is all it takes sometimes. Don't forget. Just don't forget. Turn back to that beautiful, wonderful knowing that how holy and wonderful you are, and that I am, and that we all are, and that this entire earth, and that there are things beyond our awareness. We just don't know what is going on in the hearts and in the communities of so many people. We tend to blanket it with, there's so much chaos and it's just doesn't make sense. Everyone is so, we have armies of support. I always joke that I call in armies of angels for my kids and my family, and I do. And I do for the earth, and I do for humanity, because we are so loved, and we are here. We're changing frequencies. We're changing just the way that life has always been on the planet is changing, and we are doing it one of us at a time. I remember when I started this work, I was told that our number one job is to heal ourselves and to take care of ourselves, because by doing so, by connecting to the love of ourselves, knowing our own worth, that we intrinsically heal others around us, because we're able to offer that medicine. Like Chiron, the wounded healer, you bring the medicine forward when you can lovingly acknowledge and work through the things that are difficult within us or that have been challenging, that we help others, that we always do. And so with that, I'd like to give you the reading I got, which was really beautiful, and they always are. But this one was just so pointed in terms of reminding us of our helpers and our guides and our who is with us, and what our job within us is to stay connected to that and to others. And so the first one, the divine teachers came through, and they spoke to balance. We have so many different guides, and the teachers are the ones that say, in this case, they say, balance the love that you have for yourself and for others. Give and receive, they are both the same. Allow yourself to receive, allow your heart to open to receive. You don't have to prove your worth by giving all the time. And receiving is just as valuable as giving. That's why I think so many of us have trouble receiving. We're used to believing that, well, if I give, I know I'm safe and I'm going to be able to get something back. It becomes transactional. And that is not what the divine teachers are telling us. They're saying, do not think in those terms. Start changing your perspective in terms of this. Give and receive equally, and honor both, because it's so needed. And with that appreciation for what is given to us and what we give, appreciating the blessings, all the beauty in it, and how things we don't even realize that we are benefiting from. We appreciate knowing that has been set forth for us, that the groundwork was laid. Our infrastructure, if you think about community and how important it is, we have all these beautiful souls out there, people that are giving through their time and their service, and in every way, big and small, and how we are part of that. We're part of that infrastructure, and needed and loved. And the divine helpers are saying, we're all helpers. We're all given that back and forth to each other. And on the other side, and in the spiritual realm, they are doing that as well, though we may not know it until we ask to see it, which is what we were talking about before. And the last, the divine mother comes through, and she is, oh my goodness, showing me and all of us, hopefully through my words, that you are so infinitely loved. We are so treasured and held and appreciated and worthy, and and that that is never in question, even when we feel like it. We feel alone, or don't feel like, or there may be woundings in terms of our parenting. Like, being a parent is hard. Having had parents who, we're all infallible. We've all, I'm not infallible, but we all make mistakes. We are fallible, more like the Divine Mother, infallible, always with us, always um, giving us, if we ask for it and care to pay attention to it, we see that she is nurturing us in the way that we deserve to be nurtured and loved. Um, it can feel tough. It can feel tough on this planet sometimes. It can feel isolating. It can feel tricky. And so when that is the case, know that we are loved. We have there, and there are so many beautiful, there are so many symbols in our religious traditions, and in esoteric myths, and as well, of the gods and goddesses, so to speak. We have in the Catholic Church, for example, we have the Blessed Mother Mary, and she's always been someone close to my heart, as the Divine Mother, the divine who represents the Divine Mother. And there are others. There are so many others in the Egyptian traditions. We have Isis and Hathor. And we have so many beautiful representations of the divine. There's a special place. The masculine and the feminine are both so equally important. And in this case, the Divine Mother is here to bestow a little love and to offer it up, and to remind us of how important we are. And so I think I'm going to leave it right there. I appreciate you all being here. I want to thank you for sticking with me when I'm embarking on this new path. I love speaking about this, and I love teaching this, and I love living my life through this lens. And I'm not gonna lie, that felt isolating to me for a while. Back when this wasn't even as appreciated as it really is starting to become now. I said it earlier, we're in changing times. So I just want to send all my love to you guys. Thanking you for supporting me. I want you to know that I support you. I pray for you. I pray for all of us. And pull in the love and the transmissions that we are all in need of when dealing with a world that doesn't always acknowledge the things that we're talking about here. And so have a great day. And if you like this, please subscribe, tell your friends, comment, because the more I can talk with you guys, the more I'll be able to speak to what you want to talk about. Right now, I'm mostly just asking for feedback from my team, what needs to be talked about. And thank you again. Bye.